Lieutenant Colonel Sarit Zehavi, who is joining us as well right now. Let's jump directly into it. One, how much can Israel tolerate, and what should Israel's response be?
Well, it's a good question how much Israel can tolerate. I think the main goal of Israel is to prevent war. But of course, the message should be sent that the situation of making the northern border of Israel the same as the southern border of Israel is unbearable, and this is something that Israel will not be able to tolerate. For us in Alma Center, it is clear that in the past year and a half, this is what Hezbollah and the Iranians are trying to do, are trying to raise the tension, maybe create more escalation on the northern borders. I've been on the border yesterday. I saw the Hezbollah military operatives watching at me. This is something that is the daily reality, and it is clear that something is changing here. I wouldn't say gradually, but I would say in the past year and a half, Hezbollah risk assessment totally changed.
And that's actually what I want to follow up on, because as you just mentioned, we have seen provocation after provocation over the last year, including Hezbollah moving military positions directly onto Israeli territory. Why now? Why do they think they are strong enough to do that at this time?
It's not a half, and the answer goes in various circles, beginning with what is happening inside Israel, but not only, including what is happening in the Middle East in general, and even going all the way to Ukraine. It's the same line of risk assessment that is being done, whether in Beirut or in Tehran. And due to this risk assessment, and probably misleading and unrightfully assessment on Hezbollah's side, that maybe now it's a better timing. Iran is gaining more and more achievements in the Middle East. United States is not doing anything about the nuclear program of Iran. Hezbollah feels that it has less to lose inside Lebanon because the situation is that bad. Israel is experiencing an internal crisis. And all of that together gives them the impression that maybe if they will raise the tension on the northern border, they will get some advantages from their own side. Again, I think they are wrong, but this is the assessment on the other side.
And while we've been talking about Hezbollah, it's not exactly confirmed that it's them yet. What are the odds that this could be a Palestinian faction on the northern border as well?
It could be a Palestinian faction. The last case in Passover, it was clear that even though it was a Palestinian faction, Hezbollah was involved. There were occasions that it was Palestinian factions, what we say in Hebrew, like under the nose of Hezbollah. In this case, we don't know, but I cannot ignore, the situation on the border in the past months as I see it, including the tents that you mentioned, not far away from this place specifically. And that's why, to say that this is Palestinian faction without talking about Hezbollah, I think this is very misleading.
And one of the things we've seen, because you mentioned Hezbollah, you mentioned Palestinian faction, all of them have been seeing more and more support from Iran in recent years. How much does Israel have to look at the possibility of dealing with a constant multi-front battle of attrition backed by a very powerful regional power?
Look, here there are the bad news and the good news. Iran is pushing hard to create a multi-front situation that Israel will be facing. And from, everybody was talking around that in the past few months here. But we have seen in the past at least two escalations in Gaza and in Jenin that all the other players are not rushing to join the party full scale to attack Israel from all fronts. I think that the Iranians still have a long way to go. But on the other hand, I believe that if there will be a northern front that will be open, again, around the interests of Hezbollah itself, there is a stronger possibility that Hamas and the PIJ will join in.
What would be the trigger point from Iran's perspective to effectively launch this multi-front operation?
Well, many things. First, again, assessment that Israel is weak enough to actually gain achievement, or assessments that the strategic situation in the region bringing Israel to a situation that it's weak enough, considering also other players like United States and Russia. That's one thing. Another thing can be the nuclear issue. If they are getting to a situation that they actually getting progress in the nuclear issue and they want to draw the Israeli attention elsewhere, Lebanon could be a very effective sacrifice for them.
Thank you very much, Sarit, for explaining just what's going on, or at least a little look behind the scene, so we can speculate, at least for now.